Some important definitions. First one is carrier. What is carrier? Carrier is an entity capable of carrying charges. There are two kinds of charges. One is negative charge and one is positive charge. Electron can carry negative charge from one place to another place, and holes can carry positive charge from one place to another place. Since these two are carrying the charges, the name is carriers. So this is the first definition, carriers. Carrier is an entity capable of carrying charges. And second definition, electron. Electron carries negative charge. And third definition, holes carries positive charge. Next, two more definitions we have, that is majority carriers and minority carriers. Majority charge carriers and minority charge carriers you can consider. And now let me consider a semiconductor slab. Semiconductor slab. Here it is there. There are two semiconductor slab I am going to consider. This is one kind and this is one kind. Here these are negative. Negative are electrons. And here positives are holes. In this semiconductor slab, electrons are more in number. They are majority carriers. Electrons are majority carriers here. And here positive charges are majority carriers. So holes are majority carriers. And here holes are minority carriers, you can see here. And here electrons are minority carriers. Less in number, less than 50% of total number of carriers, that is why minority carriers. Okay, now here negative charges are more. That is why we will call this as N-type semiconductor. Negative, N-type semiconductor. And here holes are majority carriers and positive charges are more. Therefore, P-type, positive, P-type semiconductor. Next, how holes are generated. That is, positive charges are generated in a semiconductor. Let me consider, already you saw this diagram. This is a semiconductor slab made up of germanium. These are germanium, and germanium crystal it is pure semiconductor, pure germanium slab I considered. The pure germanium slab is called as intrinsic semiconductor. Pure semiconductor is called as intrinsic semiconductor. So this is intrinsic semiconductor I am going to consider. You already saw this diagram. Now this is germanium, right? It has 4 valence electrons. There are 4 valence electrons. For all the germanium there are 4 valence electrons. Here, these are the electrons. Now, if you supply the heat energy to it, what happens? You already studied, the electron start vibrates and bond gets break. Later what happens? Here you can see this covalent bond here, it is not there. So already bond gets broken, and after breaking the electron become free. This electron can go here. You can see, and leaving behind a space here. We will call this as vacancy. Vacancy is created when electron is going here, and this vacancy is called as hole. This is called as hole. When the electron goes here, what happens? It creates a hole having positive charge. Positive charge is just an absent of negative charge. Electron is not there, therefore this is hole. Now here also it has not shown here, right? Here also what happened? Hole is created. How the hole is created? This electron was there that vibrated after receiving heat energy, and just escaped from this place and created a vacancy here, and this vacancy is nothing but hole. Whenever the electrons moves, what happens? The vacancy is created, and that vacancy is nothing but the holes. That is absence of electron here, that is holes. Intrinsic semiconductors are the pure semiconductors in which the number of electrons is equal to the number of holes. If 10 number of electrons are there, 10 free electrons, and a similar number of holes are present, that is 10. So this is about intrinsic semiconductors we studied in a last class. Now actually there is no use from intrinsic semiconductor. If you want to have any practical use, add some suitable impurities to it and increase the number of carriers in it, that is electrons in it, then there are plenty of use. Now let us see what are the drawback of such type of pure semiconductor, that is intrinsic semiconductor. So drawback of semiconductors, the first one, the current is controlled by the temperature, not by us. So there is no control over the intrinsic semiconductor by the users. Suppose if I am using the mobile phone made up of semiconductors, in Karnataka the temperature is more, so efficiency is also more. Suppose if you take the same mobile phone in Jammu and Kashmir, their temperature is very less, therefore the efficiency of the mobile phone is also less. So temperature plays the important role in intrinsic semiconductor. Next, one more drawback is that the current is very small. So current is not much compared to the one more kind of semiconductors, that is after adding the impurities to it. Next, third one, already you saw this one. This is number of electrons is equal to the number of holes in an intrinsic semiconductor. So if both are equal, there is no practical use from that. So we have to increase either electrons in it or holes in the same semiconductor. Okay, now I will consider such kind of intrinsic semiconductor. You already saw this. This is an intrinsic semiconductor. Now instead of considering this diagram, I will just consider this. This is intrinsic semiconductor, this one. If you just add some electrons to it, then what happens? The electron number increases, that is negative charges increases. Then such type of semiconductor becomes N-type semiconductor. Suppose if you had holes to it, more number of holes to it, then it becomes P-type semiconductors. That is, more the holes if you add, then it becomes P-type. If you add electrons more, then it becomes N-type. But the question is how to add all these electrons and holes directly. That is the question. And this process of adding impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor is called as doping. So what is doping? Doping is the process of adding the controlled number of impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor. That is called as doping. The next topic is extrinsic semiconductor. What is extrinsic semiconductor? Extrinsic semiconductor is the semiconductor we can obtain after adding the impurities to the pure semiconductor. And here I have given the diagram. This is not intrinsic semiconductor, this is extrinsic semiconductor. Why? Because in this pure germanium crystal, foreign elements you can see, there is arsenic. So arsenic we added as the impurities to it. So this crystal, what you are seeing now, this is extrinsic. Why? Because we added the impurities to it, that is arsenic. But arsenic is the pentavalent impurity. That means it consisting of 5 electrons in the outermost cell, 5 valence electrons in it. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more 5 here, you can see. So these 4 already made a bond with the germanium. But what about this one? This is left unchanged and this is free. So one more electron you can see here, and here also one more arsenic. There are 5 electrons in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. But these made a bond with the germanium crystal. But this electron is free. So 2 extra electrons are getting. But in practically, we are adding such type of arsenic, pentavalent impurities in a huge number. Millions of arsenic we are adding to it. Then millions of free electrons we are going to get, and more number of electrons, that means n-type. So electrons are majority charge carriers in such type of extrinsic semiconductor. So this is about the n-type semiconductor. And next, one more. Here you can see one more germanium everywhere, but extra aluminum we added. Aluminum is actually the trivalent impurity. It is a trivalent impurity. That means there are 3 electrons in it. So 1, 2, 3. All these made a bond with the germanium here, germanium atom. But what about here? There is no electrons here. So this is the hole created, that is vacancies created here, and more number of holes in this entire crystal. One extra hole is there. But practically thousands, millions of aluminiums we are adding. If you are adding more number of trivalent impurities such as aluminium, then more number of holes you are going to get. Millions of aluminium means millions of holes we are getting. So hole are majority charge carriers, that means p-type semiconductor. So in n-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are electrons. In p-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are holes. You see this. So in n-type semiconductors, electrons are majority charge carriers, negative, that is electrons. And in p-type semiconductor, holes are majority charge carriers, that is positive charges. Okay, now formation of p-n junction, that is p-type alone and n-type alone has no practical use. Now take p-type and n-type and join it. Then there is a beautiful use from it. Then we can see that here you can see, consider p-type and n-type semiconductor and join suitably. So it is joined. After joining, what happens we will study, that is formation of p-n junction. So this layer interface between p-type and n-type is called as p-n junction. So after combining these two, here you can see, after combining this, what happens? More number of electrons was here will start diffusing into the p-type site, and more number of holes are here will start diffuse into the n side of the semiconductor. What is diffusion? Diffusion means the process of moving from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So holes are in higher concentration, they move towards lower concentration side, and electrons are in higher concentration, they move towards the lower concentration side. That is what happens here. That is diffusion. Diffusion takes place. Electrons move from n to p side and holes move from p to n side. But is it continuous infinitely? No. What happens when electrons start diffusing into p side? So this is n side was there. N side loses negative charge from it. So electron moves here and it becomes positive. When you start removing the electron from it, it becomes a positive. So it becomes positive. But diffusion of hole also takes place this side. When holes start moving this side, then this entire p side becomes the negative side. And this region formed is called as depletion region or depletion layer. We will call this as a depletion layer. So it doesn't consisting of any mobile charge carriers. These charges are ions, not the carriers. So after building up of these region, that is depletion region, what happens? These positive ions start opposing the holes. These are the holes, cannot go here. It start repel, and these electron layer will start opposing. It start opposing the electrons enter this side, because positive and positive or negative and negative repel, but positive negative and negative positive attract. So here this negative layer will start opposing the electrons to cross it, and these positive ions will start repelling these holes and not allows. As a result, this depletion layer acts as potential barrier, that is a barrier to cross these holes and electrons. It acts as a barrier called as potential barrier. Greater the depletion layer, if this region is more, then potential barrier is also more. If this region is less in size, then potential barrier is also less. And this particular PN junction is called as PN junction diode, or just a normal diode. So it is electronic device. Diode is electronic device. Then what is the symbol of this? The symbol of diode is this one. So one side this is anode, and another side that is called as cathode. This is a symbol for the electronic device called as diode. Di means two, ode, that means electrode. Two electrodes in it. But this depletion layer can be increased or can be decreased. And this process of increasing or decreasing the depletion layer is called as biasing. What is that? Biasing. So we can increase it or we can decrease this layer. If you increase this depletion layer, what happens? The carriers cannot cross this barrier, so no current in it. And if you decrease this layer, depletion layer, then the charge carriers can easily cross this and you will get a great amount of current in this particular device, that is diode. Then what is biasing? Biasing means applying the external voltage to this particular semiconductor diode. So for the diode, connect a battery to it, and that process is called as biasing. We have two types of biasing. One is called as forward bias and one more that is called as reverse bias. What is biasing? Bias or biasing means connecting external voltage to this particular diode. So now I have a battery. This is a battery I have, you can see. And on this battery, you can see the positive. This is a positive terminal side and this is the negative terminal side, and the symbol for this particular cell or battery is here. It is there. Positive represented by the bigger one and negative represented by the smaller one. So how it is connected to this particular diode? You connect like this. So the positive should be this side like this. If you connect it, then the diode is called as forward bias diode. Suppose if you take the same cell and just reverse it. So reverse it. So positive should be this side and negative should be this side. Then the diode is said to be reverse bias. Then what happens in forward bias and what happens in reverse bias, we will see. So in forward bias, the positive terminal of the cell is connected to the P side of the semiconductor, and the negative terminal of the cell is connected to N type of the semiconductor. Why it is called as P type? Because more number of holes in it. That is why it is P type. And why it is N side of the semiconductor? Because negative charges are more, electrons are more, therefore it is N type semiconductor. So this is in forward bias condition. Now what happens? Since positive is connected to the P type, these holes are also positive and this is also positive. So these holes are repelled by the battery. These holes are repelled by the battery because positive and positive repel. So these holes start repelling and just move towards the junction here. It moves. And similarly, here what happens? The negative terminal is connected to N type of the semiconductor. So these negative charges start repelled by the negative plate and these electrons are also start moving towards the junction. As a result, the depletion layer decreases and finally the electrons can cross the junction and holes also can cross the junction, hence the current in an external circuit. What happens in the reverse bias? We will see in the reverse bias. In the reverse bias, the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the P side and the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the N side. Then what happened? This positive plate of the battery is attracting all these electrons towards this side. So all electrons move towards this side. And this negative terminal of the battery is connected to the P side. So majority charge carriers or holes will start moving towards this side. As a result, what happens? The depletion layer increases. Now these holes and electrons cannot cross it. These electrons and holes cannot cross the junction as the depletion layer is more, then no current in reverse bias condition. Therefore, the conclusion is that in forward bias the current flows. In reverse bias the current doesn't flow in a diode. Current flows, therefore the resistance is very low. The current doesn't flow into the diode, therefore the resistance of the diode is very high.